Alright. Feel like we should come back before that that music kicks off and I get addicted to listening to that music. But I'm back. And now, time for NieR. So, last time we were playing, got all the key pieces. It was a good place to finish up, actually, because we got all the fragments. Sacrifice, the memory, loyal Cerberus, the stone guardian, the law of robotics. So, loyal Cerberus was the dog in the desert. The memory tree was the tree itself. Sacrifice is, well, the tree of memories was the one in the misty forest. Sacrifice was the area exploding with a mill. The law of robotics was the Beepy, the robot. And then Stone Guardian, I'm actually having a mental blank as to which one Stone Guardian is. Oh, it's the, I'm fairly sure it's the one at the thing. Hey Klaus, how you doing, man? Have you finished this yet, Klaus? I don't know if we've talked about it. But yes, so we've done all that means we can go and fight the Shadow Lord. I am actually almost completed on all quests. I'm at 98%. I just need the pink moonflower seeds, which I keep forgetting to do. So hopefully my seeds have not all gone and gotten destroyed. They probably have. I have 84% of the weapons, so it's almost all the weapons. To see all the endings, you need all the percentage. And yeah. I've got no uncompletable quests. I literally just need to do this moon seeds one, so God. You've been playing Yakuza and you stopped NieR? Oh my gosh. Where did you get up to in NieR? Alright, let's go to the boat. So yeah, I've just been doing a bit of grinding. I've been using the Phoenix Spear, you'll notice. Still the best weapon in the game. It's just so stupid OP. But yeah. Alright, let's go back to the village. I'm assuming you mean the new Yakuza as well? I'm still kind of at the beginning. Oh no. You're not feeling it, or you just got distracted? Again, this is the thing, it's like, as much as this, like, the game is still, very retro in a sense, like, it's, like, it's retro in the sense that I feel like a lot of people will probably bounce off it because it feels arcane at times, and that's fine. Man, I've probably lost all the pedals here, I completely stuffed up. New Yakuza? Judgment? Yeah, I was thinking Judgment, maybe. Or Like a Dragon. No, I meant more Like a Dragon, actually. Yeah, Judgment is like... Judgment is not... It's Yakuza, but it's not Yakuza, I guess. I do want to play it at some point. Man, I've lost all the seeds, all the pedals. I really stuffed up. That's alright. I'll get it in round 2. Hopefully I'll focus on that this week. Because, so close to getting all the quests done. I just really hate the gardening. I might do the little speed up version of how to do this. I don't think it's for me. Wait, which one? NieR or Like a Dragon? Yeah, I've literally lost all of them. How you doing though? I'm doing well. We've just been chill. We did some Pokemans. And now we're gonna do the ending to NieR. Oh. Oh, we got some. I think that was Peach though. I don't think that was the ones we needed. Like a Dragon? Yeah, see, I kind of agree. I kind of want to play Like a Dragon, but I think I'm more interested in playing Judgment at this point. Because I don't really want to play an RPG like that. Like, I think that's the hard part. Like, as well as that game sold in Japan, it still may not be for me, fortunately. Alright. Because I'm a big dum-dum, we're going to continue planting these seeds. So, red and golds. No, this is not a particularly exciting thing to watch, but it might be a good way to warm up NieR, and then we can jump into the endings. Because we've got to get to the Shadow Lord's castle. I definitely want to play Judgment. I was hoping it'd come to Steam, but yeah. Wait, is it not? So it's not on PC? Hang on, I didn't know that. Does that mean Sony paid for exclusivity on it? That's crazy. It's like watching Stardew or Harvest Moon. It's far more tedious than that. So the problem with this class is this uses real world time. And this is a game that you don't necessarily need to play daily. So the two ideologies don't really go very well together. And I don't know, it's like trying to encourage you to return to the game or think about the game when it's like, when it's a story-based game where there's sort of something like this in between, where if you're playing this in long stints, which you can pretty much complete the game in one day if you were like a crazy person, something like this is to slow you down, but it doesn't. So it just ends up being this weird, like, Animal Crossing got it? Yeah. I think Stardew has like good pacing around this stuff. Stardew actually I think is a little too fast in some regard, where it's like you can cycle really quickly. Ah. So I'm gonna have to water these after I'm done with them too. Is there a purpose to crops? So yes, so what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to breed flower seeds or flower petals to complete a quest. If I'm not doing flowers, the other thing you do is plant crops. However, the yield on crops can be used to make money, but they're also used for handing in for quests, like side quests and stuff. But I wouldn't use them for side quests. I would just buy them. You get so much excess money that you just may as well do that. I think some of the weapons need some of the plants from memory. Very particular ones, but it's not really too many. So yeah, I just skip most of it. It's one of those things, like, it's kind of one of those weird, like, if it wasn't in the way for like completing everything, if he'd given us if Yoko Taro had given us an option for all of it to be skippable, fine. But he's made the most annoying part of the crop stuff, which is the flower crossbreeding, the requirement for a particular quest, and that's something that rubs me the wrong way a little bit. Fortunately, Automata doesn't have anything like this. Like, again, I think Automata is just the better version of NieR in terms of just almost every regard, except for the fact that I think the tone of this world, the story, and the characters, I just like all that a little bit more. I think the personality of this game is a lot more my style. But I would say Automata's a little bit edgier, unfortunately. This game's got lots of dark moments, but it's like, it's definitely not, it's definitely got, like, the bright is bright. Okay. And then Drakengard is edgy as fuck. By the way, is a single quest added that once you get all the puzzle pieces in the Forest of Myth? Oh, what? Hang on, wait. Bob, is there another quest in the Forest of Myth? Oh wait, are you talking about the lead piping quest? I could show you guys that as the last thing we do before we move on, because I can only do this a set period of time in the game. There we go, all watered. Oh yes, the fortune telling stone. Yeah, I've already done that. So we could go check that out, which is, it's a fun thing to do. Because you can return to it at any time. Because I remember how I mentioned the very, very start of the game is not somewhere you can return to. Turns out I was wrong. I completely forgot it. You get the lead pipe for finishing ending B? That, I don't know if that's correct. We finally ran out of money. Food costs a lot more nowadays because of the war. We tried begging the church, but they have their hands full and the wounded can't spare anything. The owners really lost a lot of weight. I wish I could get her something to eat. Poor Yona. So, can't talk about it yet. This is why it's like it's been killing me talking around things in NieR, because the truth of it all has not come together yet. But this is a nice reminder as to where the start of the game was to where we are now. Boar, please. Black marks keep showing up on my body. Sometimes I wonder if I'm going to turn into a goblin. Try not to think about it. It makes my stomach hurt.
How about...
Sure.
Let's see.
So, I completed this quest. A girl who has an item of immense power and magic that can see into the future. Or see into your fortunes. Which leads me to a grinding place, which seems very familiar to the start of the game. This is the past. So, if you guys haven't remembered, NieR Replicant takes place after our time. And we end up having this situation where the past is our time. A destroyed Japan, a war that took place, shades, creatures. Now, the shades, they're a funny thing because, like, they came about because of a certain thing. Oh wow, this is a really good place to grind words. And yes, I am using the very OP Phoenix Spear because it's very good. And we're just at a point where I may as well be using it. Yeah, so this is a great place to actually grind words, so... because I don't have all the words. But yes, now, why is NieR's memory that of a world where it's the past, a land of machines, a land of structures that we've insinuated throughout the game that it seems to be something that Vice seems to know about, but the current world, was it 6,000 on years? I can't even remember how many years on. Do not know about. And yet NieR remembers, NieR's somewhat has a connection to this location. And if you remember at the start of the game, a young boy that looked like young NieR lived his life protecting a girl called Yona until he picked up a dark book and they were overwhelmed by shades. Which seems to be what's happening here. It's funny because now I'm done with everything. There's a lot of weapons in the game that are much stronger than the Phoenix Sphere. Oh really? I thought the Phoenix Sphere fully upgraded was still the strongest. But you will be using the Phoenix Sphere basically to upgrade all the weapons anyway. I'll be honest, I wasn't really watching my health there, so that could have been bad if I wasn't paying too much attention. But yeah. Let's trigger the boss. But it's literally this area, so you can come back to this area. There was the iron pipe here that I picked up, and now I don't know how to get out of here. I guess just walking in there? I guess, there we go. Ow. But this is a good thing to come back full circle to remember, because it's been a while since we've been here. We haven't been here since the first half of the game. At the very, 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 very start of the game. You get a weapon with 99 damage and 100% weapon damage. Holy shit, that's crazy. Kind of is, Bob, but I don't worry, I knew it was there.
What was that?
I cannot say, but I doubt it was a mere daydream if all of us experienced it as one.
I think I've seen that before.
Hey, what's this? Oh, it's just sap. Alright. Yeah. Keep that in mind as we take on the Shadow Lord's castle. A man who seems to have control over shades, who has a book at his side, similar to NieR. Grimoire Vice. And also looked a lot like young NieR. Grimoire Moth. Oh, I hate that I can't go down ledges. Let me down.
Oh there.
But yes, here we go. Back into the Lost Shrine. A place that also has ties to our old world. A castle made of concrete. Overgrown. Falling apart. However, infested by shades. Now, I could fight all these guys, but they have a lot of health, and they also have armor, so there's not much point. I'm very strong, by the way, chat. Like, I'm at a point in the game now where I'm like, I don't have to worry. But, check it out. Similar to the automata areas. Pipes, leaking water, concrete jungle. Scaffolding holding onto a building that's holding on for dear life. Oh, I like that guy. He was attacking me as I was coming up the ladder. There was also a ghost shade chasing me, but he's okay. So I actually had to come here for a two side quests. I kind of cleared them and then came back. I was worried I couldn't do a whole heap of quests because we put the game into a weird state, having to talk to the twins, but they were okay to talk to me. They hadn't left yet, but they might soon. But like I said, I probably don't need to fight any of these enemies. We're just gonna zip zoom around. It is disappointing I didn't get the flowers done. I completely forgot because I was doing some other stuff during the week. Alright, do you want to see how strong we are? This is meant to be a story boss up to this point. Like, that is meant to be what I'm supposed to be overcoming on the way up here, and I can kill it in like 2 seconds. It's kind of why I'm not taking on everything, because the game is reached a point where it's kind of at the hardest it will be unless I crank up the difficulty, and all the difficulty increase does is increases their health. And fighting the armor guys kind of blows, so I'm just gonna skip him.
Imagine if without warning Twitch enabled an option that showed all your viewers' webcams as they watched you perfume.
Tante, are you insinuating that you're not decent right now? I've seen a lot of talk that difficulty increases the drop rates. What? That wasn't the case definitely in the first game. Is that something they've actually changed? Is that actually true? If that's true, I might do that in the future when I want to go upgrade all the weapons. I'd like to change the conversation. Dante. Dante's just hanging around in his underwear. I mean, that's okay. You can be in your underwear if you like. I'd have to research a bit. Yeah, I think maybe that's actually worth looking into, Bob. I didn't realize that myself. I'm at the point in the game where that would be worth doing if I wanted to grind items, because I'm going to be retreading old ground anyway, so if they can give me stuff at a higher drop rate, that'd be good. And I can always upgrade the spear a little bit more. Here we are. The outside of the shrine. So we've been here 2 times before this. Once to save Yona. Once to, what was the other time we were here? I can't even remember why we were here the second time. I always forget. I know that's when Kaine gets exploded. And look how fast you can go. Zip zoom around. Oop, wrong way. And bingo bango, we're here. Let's do it, chat. Here's a quick chart I found by displaying the differences. Alright, we'll have a look.
Such an ominous sight, and yet I find it strangely nostalgic.
Let's see this. I want to see this chart.
This is where Vice and I first met. And first fought together.
Wow! This is where you used to live, Vice?
Well, yes, I suppose. In a technical sense.
Enemy drop rate is 1.5 times.
At least it was free from annoying hussies like yourself.
Vice. Play nice. This is crazy if true. I'd totally never seen this. Huh. Bonkers. 1.5 increased drop rate. I might have to do that. Fortunately, I haven't had to do a lot of grinding so far. There's the message. You cannot turn back from this point. Continue. It's new to 1.22. How I've not seen anyone talk about this before. I guess it doesn't matter in your ending A playthrough unless you're a madman and try and get all the weapons upgraded before you end ending A. Which is no point. The game's not that hard. You saw it looked up while you were farming stuff? Oh, really? Interesting. Oh, chat, I've just been hitting the feels. A good organ does a lot. Two white doves. Oh man, I've been watching the Adventure Zone, and I got up to the part where Griffin brings up the riddle as to what the truth is of that universe. I saw a void, endless hunger, the twins. No, it was 7 doves. I have to play that. The Adventure Zone's very good. The first season is fantastic. But yeah, here we are. A location that seems to have greenery, a land above it all that's been almost preserved. It doesn't look like the rest of the world. This is somewhere that's been protected. Chances is only relevant then, otherwise I've heard it makes heart. Yeah, that's what I've heard too.
To whom does the true voice speak? To whom does the true form show itself? You must answer.
It can talk!
I ask, why did humans disappear from the world?
The hell is this?
I believe this is some manner of password.
Password?
Yes.
Question,
Correct
are these
answer
androids
shows
or are these
access.
magical? I actually don't know. Surely these are androids.
I feel confident I've heard this somewhere before.
Why have the humans gone away?
To whom I want you.
Why did humans leave this world? Because their lives are short? Or because of the black disease?
I answer.
They're like the
because
fishing on the
black
plaque that
disease.
sings? The fish on the plaque that sings? Oh god. I answer because of the black disease.
How can humans humans extend their lives.
By acquiring leaves of the sacred tree, by separating body and soul. Do you think the sacred tree is the answer, guys? Now, I already know the answers because I know what the plot is to this game. So we're gonna go the true route. Because otherwise it just bumps you back, honestly.
I answer by separating body from soul.
I ask, what is the destination of souls?
They are placed in their corresponding shells. They are in the promised land, bursting with light. They are placed in their corresponding shells.
I answer, they are placed in their corresponding shells.
Very well. You are acknowledged as master. You may enter.
Well then, it seems the way is open.
So what I've just answered probably makes very little sense unless you know what the hell the plot is to this game. Oh, there it is. There's the Phoenix Sword. So there's a few weapons in here in the Shadow Lord's castle, but fuck all that noise. Two twins stand before us.
It's the twins from your village.
Popla, Devila, what are you doing here?
Hey, any chance you'll just go back to the village? This is a very dangerous place. Even if you can find Yona here, you probably can't get her out.
How did you get here?
Shh. We're asking the questions right now.
We're here to rescue Yona. What are you two doing here? They're right, let's go back to the village.
What are you two doing here?
I'm not going to answer that. You can figure it out yourself.
We're here to rescue Yona.
No dice, huh? Well, I guess we don't have a choice then.
You can actually go back. They don't say anything if you talk to them in the village. No way! I didn't remember that at all.
No,
That's really
I
funny.
suppose not.
Dark Souls-esque animation.
We didn't want to fight you.
They're very pretty.
We really didn't want to.
Took me 15 minutes to recover from that curiosity? Really?
So, this fate was predetermined. Still, we
Magicians! They're magicians!
We really wanted to avoid this if possible. We were hoping to put it off for 100 years or so. Until the next generation came along.
What are you talking about?
Are they shades?
This dialogue is very important. There is no reason for me to speed up this fight. Why does it keep changing targets?
We never thought we'd grow to be this powerful.
This is madness. Why do you block our path?
You have no cause to speak so with us, Grimoire Vice. You are a traitor.
Vice is the traitor. It gives them hyper armor. Oh, okay, cool. No more Vice. A book that is controlled by the magic they seem to control. You're able to one-drop BP. Oh, wow.
They copied my powers.
Shit on a shingle. They can use the sealed verses.
Of course we can. The power came from us in the first place. You were simply loaned a small portion of it.
That's so funny, because that's not necessarily true. Those two have just lied.
Are you alright?
That's not necessarily true.
Why are you guys doing this? Why are you siding with the Shades?
Oh, look, she's got the big fist. I kind of want to see their moves as well. Oh, it looks like they don't. There's Lance. This is double fist. I wanted to do like Phantom or something. That'd be cool. It looks like they don't have too many patterns. Stop talking. The moment they stopped talking, they got gibbed. God.
Why?
The answer to every riddle lies within the heart of the Shadow Lord.
Shadow Lord. So you've been on his side this whole time?
You must search for that answer yourself. You've got to face your own truth now. Please, enter the Shadow Lord's castle.
They were so adamant about us not entering. Now they seem to be okay with it for some reason. Shadow Lord's castle map. They even gave us a map.
Coppola are fighting us.
Yes, they do seem to be putting us through a great deal of...
You okay, Vice?
How odd. For long years, my mind and tongue have been my greatest assets.
Did you get the weapon? Yeah, from just outside. I just grabbed it before. We'll grab the ones inside too. Hey Snowdog, how you doing?
Vice?
My book seems to be broken. You have a new book for me, Snowdog?
Grimoire Vice. I am perfectly...
Alright, here we go. The castle we enter.
I think I hear a waltz.
Weird thing to say, Emil. You're looking comfy there. I wish I could be that comfy. Those aren't shades. Okay, alright, chat. I don't understand this room, even contextually.
It certainly is a grand affair.
Knowing it what it is now, it's still a funny thing, because that means that someone, like, organized it.
I think we're locked in.
It's not like I was planning to leave.
Yeah, it's a bit late for that.
Oh, you son of a gun. This is why the Phoenix Spear is very good. So you on holiday now? I think you finished your exams now, right, Snowdog? Charge up. The hyper armor on that spear attack is really good too. Here we go. Strength drop. Man, how many of these boys are there in this? This is why people run a lot of the armor break stuff, because the armor break is like, it just makes it a lot easier to get through mobs like this, but because of the hyper armor on some attacks, I actually don't mind so much not having it. I learned that the heavy attack on the greatsword is really good. I was planning to play it, but we'll play it, I think, once I've upgraded one of them, because the Phoenix Spear, I could upgrade a few tiers. I couldn't upgrade greatswords very far, so we'll do a greatsword run probably in the future. I don't know what part of that hit me. Oh yeah, we'll get lots of words in here, by the way, so I'm gonna get very strong after this place. Oh, that's probably what hit me, this caster here. I probably should also be using some spells. Don't really need to, though. The Phoenix Spear actually gives you decent spell damage, too. I think it's like 40%. Ooh, there's XP rate 30. Still haven't gotten the best item drop rate one, which is kind of a bummer. We got a really good one, but... Ending C and D, I was able to instigate and revive on every revive with a well-timed heavy charge. Well, that's the thing. I think that I would actually really like to play a greatsword run, because we did ending the first half of the game with the light sword, so I was like happy to do this a bit further with the light sword, and then I switched over to the spear while grinding. I was like, oh, maybe I'll do a spear run and then maybe a greatsword run, or vice versa.
Vice!
Oh, right. Protect the hussy, yes? Good plan. Let's go.
I love this extra dialogue. Yeah, the sky.
Kaine, hurry!
It's not open yet?
Do I look like a goddamn locksmith to you?
No, you idiot. What are you doing?
Lock doesn't want to open? Fine. I'll just break it down.
Stop, you impatient fool.
Never forget how strong Kaine is.
Bullshit bastard! Open the fuck up already! Ugh! Got it.
Kaine! Look out!
Balls. Also, still, NieR feels like more willing to have like little silly funny moments.
Are they? What? These things are freaking me out.
Ooh, that actually hurt me quite a lot.
Kaine, what's wrong?
We need to help Kaine.
No, Kaine can wait. I need to get rid of balls.
We need to help Kaine.
Fine, we'll go to Kaine.
You okay?
Yeah. Well, we got problems.
Man wants to be one with the balls, so he can be the greatest ball. Still crazy the concept that the shades can actually combine. And there's a shade boar. Ain't seen one of them yet. Oh, he's big.
We don't need forgiveness, asshole.
Kaine?
Don't remember if the thing on the top of him actually means anything. But he's got a big eye on top. He's like essentially Ganon, which if you don't realize, NieR has got a lot of references to Zelda. A boy that leaps through time.
Oh dear.
Son Ganon. Oh, he's getting even more Ganon. He's all armored up now. Dirge for a hero. Oh my gosh, it really doesn't matter. Like, look how much damage I do to this thing. Uh-oh. Maybe that's why it doesn't matter how much damage I do.
This thing?
Fog. Oh no.
Getting weirdly green in here.
Stop now. Damn it.
Stay focused, Kaine. Don't fall victim to such distractions.
Come on. We have to keep going.
Let's go.
Can't open the door. Kaine, open the door. Kaine, open the door. Open the door. Let me in. Bye, stinky pig. Suddenly deadly neurotoxin. Here it is. The Dragoon Lance.
Up here.
An elevator. Camera actually is not being great here, but I guess it's to force you to go up. And more facilities. Huh?
How can we deal with this thing?
Please hurry.
I just want to double check all the boxes. Don't think there's any items here, but Oh, I think it one-shots me. Alright, no items. We don't need to go for the items. Oh no, I just had a bad feeling. I hope this throws me back. Okay, good. Put the lance. Alright, let's just make a break for it.
Up here.
How can we deal with this thing?
Look how good the lance is.
Please hurry.
Please hurry. Well, we can't all fly like you, Emil, okay? Yeah, pig boy. How you guys doing?
Can't get it open.
Back, baby.
Attack incoming!
Ah, I armored the wrong part. Okay, maybe I can't armor the pig's attacks. Interesting.
It's locked too.
It seems we are in a bit of a predicament.
Immortal pig versus immortal team of heroes. And now it's farting on us. It's always funny in video games where you have moments where it's like, there's meant to be a really challenging moment, and the team's like failing, and then you just sort of like, oh, I killed it, and then the team almost dies. It's really hard to convey that sometimes. How'd they know to come here?
傘程度と地いるとって
Achudori!
あら、ペルアとシデ、チ、ウセキヨン、イラ、コ、ク。
Da, 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 da.
つって
What are you doing here?
サルリ
Insta giving him for like the 6th time. Yeah, I know. That's what I was talking about. It's like one of those things where it's like video games can be a little weird sometimes.
アラトテ三世帯
You have to. It's. I almost feel like a better game would have like, or a game that had more time spent on it would probably make it engineered a scenario so it's like a failure state where you're just getting overwhelmed, and or it gets more powerful or something. So it's doing percentage-based damage or something like that. Or your damage is limited, or it slows down or something. It gets armor as you do more damage. Good luck, team.
奇跡おあ
Hey! Stop! Let me go! Stop it! Damn it! King, no!
ギ後でアリクラーサアコ
Bye.
No! Open the door! You can't fight that thing on your own!
ユククおタオキアルタビートクルトコチイル勝てケイタルイトエチケロアルテリアだせ
ギウジ
各石技師
真鍮カレルタカイザンテラス
アンダアラタテウラーヌペルアトチ
ウラーヌカイザントトラチ Open the damn door!
Knock it off already. Let's go.
Kaine.
He's
The only time Kaine raises her hand to NieR as well.
Let him die for nothing.
Apart from the first time we met.
My friend.
Whoa, Kaine just teleported. It's time for doors. Honestly, I remember this area being pretty big. Maybe it's not as big as I remembered it. You like the whole health well situation here? Seems like the game is prepping us. Da, 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 da. Oh god, this scene's so good. I love that there's no crunchy filter over the top. It just looks nice. This game looks just nice.
Oh, look. You made it. We've been waiting for so long.
Why are you doing this?
It began 1,300 years ago.
1,300 years ago.
Humanity, finding itself on the brink of extinction, undertook a last-ditch rescue plan called Project Gestalt.
And there it is. The thing that I was avoiding talking about in Automata so much. Project Gestalt. We can finally talk about it. Gestalt is the name of the version of the game we got in the West also.
Do you still not remember, Grimoire?
Replicant is the name of the game that we are playing here.
Then let's give you a refresher.
The documents. Obtain the Project Gestalt documents.
Voice! My mind. I remember. Devila. Popola. You are not human. In fact. Oh no.
Oh no, indeed.
Yeah, sometimes the truth can be a real bitch. You want to finish that thought for him, sister? All of us. Every person standing in this room are mere shells created by the true humans.
The truth of the game is, there is no humans in this world.
What are you saying?
You still don't get it? You aren't human.
The fact that is, this game, like Automata, there are no humans.
So then humans, I mean the true humans, are extinct?
Except, the little boy Blue here, Emil, is technically the last of the humans. Except he's not quite human himself anymore. Hey Magical, how you doing?
No, they still live on. You know them as shades.
Shades.
Each shade is a twisted remnant of what was once a human being.
The true identity of humanity.
Crazy, huh? Now let's skip the part where you stand there with your mouths agape and just get down to business.
Wait.
Sorry, but we're gonna be needing that shell of yours. The rightful owner has been waiting for a very long time. Please don't be angry with us. We are only doing our duty. Our endless existences have a single purpose: to control the lives of others in accordance with the will of the true humans.
All those culling brooks dropped, just clattered on the ground.
And we have ours. I fear it really is just that simple.
Don't speak such foolishness.
Look at their eyes, holy shit. Everyone's so doll-like. Alright, well I could fight, or could go to my book here. My shiny old book, full of notes and important things. And I think it's time to read some documents. So, we had the underground facility project that talked about the Gestalt Research Project, which created a weapon beyond belief. Weapon number 6. the creation of Emil and his sister. But that was only the tip of the iceberg. That is something that came about because of other research. Now, these are the records I did not read in Automata. These are the truth about all of NieR. Project Gestalt. Project Gestalt, as noted in a previous report, we could be doing the boss fight right now, but there's much more important things at hand right now. If I don't read this, we will not be able to read this for a while. As noted in a previous report, implementation of the Gestalt mode can prevent white chlorination syndrome we recently experienced. Do you remember a city that we were in just before? In the past, way in the past, a young boy, what looked like snow fell on a city, and shades attacked. White chlorination. Transfer the bodily information of civilized representative replicants is proceeding as planned, as the genes of the originals are safely stored inside. Our role as surveillance androids is to prepare the incurable bacterial disease eventually dies out is also underway. So far, it is proceeding without issue. This is a report that is being monitored by codename Popola, an android. And we know androids from playing Automata. We know that the androids also exist where the twins are not the only versions of those twins. They are an actual model of androids that were established. Project Gestalt 9182. So this was still years ago. This is way after it got implemented, but they're still monitoring. This document discusses potential strategies for the relapse cases we have observed over the recent years. The term relapse, of course, refers to the catastrophic loss of sentience in certain gestalts. So, we have the replicants and we have the gestalts. This syndrome has defied even our most pessimistic initial estimates and continues a trend to upward with disturbing speed. Hey, Steedling, how you doing? You've joined me. We're right at the end of the main story. This is where the story drop happens. With some relapse gestalts beginning to attack replicants, there is an urgent need to take comprehensive action. While we remain convinced that the unknown technology defect in the gestalt transformation process is responsible for the conditions, but we have so far not been able to confirm this theory. Research of this condition is now a top priority. It looks like it is likely for this to continue for some time. Codename Deviler. So, it seems that a project went underway where there are gestalts and replicants. Replicants being humans, gestalts being shells. And they started to go wrong, and they started attacking each other. Gestalt Report 104032. Shorthand minutes of an emergency response conference. Issue: observed upward trend in relapses. They're getting worse. Accelerated restoration schedule approved. Steedling Beedling. Debate using the codename Noir for human restoration schedule. Preparation to launch Vice. Decoding for above. Order collection of guidance release code for Daimono. There I am. I'm in the book, guys. Alongside Weiss launch. Polar Devola. Do you see 3 books? We encountered 3 books. I actually thought you said breeding at first there. Steedling breeding. One of the books we destroyed, that red book in the middle. Remember that? It went insane. At the bottom we see Vice. At the top we see Noir. The book that was with the shade that went into the library. The Shadow Lord. The Book of the Shadow Lord. Project Gestalt. Report 11-242. We have determined that the rise of relapses is due to the unexpected spike of replicants, sentience of replicants, as well as the genetic instability within the original Gestalt. It seems the original effects on bodies have undergone the Gestalt process was not anticipated in advance. No breeding. You sure, Steedling? Immediate action must be undertaken to identify links between this trend and the original Gestalt, along with his sister. The original Gestalt, along with his sister, the relapse case known as Yona. The observer group is growing uneasy, so finding a solution to the relapse issue should be considered top priority. See other reports for more details. The original Gestalt, Daimono. What did humans do to escape the Black Disease? They separated body and soul. The body being the replicant, the soul being Gestalt. The Gestalts are the true humans. But that all doesn't matter now, because we've got to beat up some girls for being naughty. Some android girls for being naughty. The first androids we've encountered in the NieR universe.
Tools in the hands of a master.
No, I'm nothing like you.
Again, the fight isn't going to be too hard, so I might have to slow down damage at some point here, just in case they want to talk. Also, fantastic song playing. And you notice there's two parts. It's the true version of the song. It's the two twin sisters that they sang in the bar, but it's so much more. I would like to play it for eternity, but this fight is not that hard at the moment.
Popola, are you crying? No, don't die.
Remember in Automata just how deep their meaning to each other is. One can't exist without the other, essentially.
Because we were born without souls. Devila, I can't stop the bleeding. Oh God, I can't stop it. This world is too lonely for one without a soul. There's too much emptiness.
Wow, look at the tear marks. That looks so good.
And yet somehow our tears still work. It's kind of weird. Sorry, sis. I love you. Devila! Devila! Don't you go! No, I can't be alone! Devila!
Popola. Let's stop this now.
Stop? Stop? Now you want to stop? You think you have the luxury to stop? You cut down my sister like a goddamn animal and now you want to stop? Popola, wait! It doesn't have to. No one stops! It's way too late to stop! No one stops!
Oh.
Please, don't do this, Popola! You and
Whoa!
parents to me!
Those two have watched the world wither for time immemorial. The cruel
Gonna have to dodge for a bit while we finish dialogue.
I don't want to do this! I don't want to fight her!
Stop.
She's pissed. She's super pissed.
It's the only way.
Alright, I think we're dialogue's over. I think we're free to attack now. And again, this spear is very good at getting through orbs. There we go. Now's not the time.
No stopping ever.
Oh, this will be the... Oh, it's a new render of this version, too. Popola goes insane. Remember, she is an android that contains so much magical power. We have not seen the androids this powerful before. Oh, it's a super good-looking render.
I've got an idea.
Oh, no. Mill's a very strong magic boy. We know that the androids aren't necessarily permanently, stable.
It'll be all right. You know, when I was young, I hated my eyes. And now that I'm older, I hate what my body has become. But there's something else there now. Something like pride, you know? I mean, without all this, I couldn't have become your friend.
My precious
Bye,
moon
my
boy.
friends. Thank you for everything.
Emil.
For so long, all I could do was destroy. But now, I have a chance to save something.
No!
Now get going, okay?
Emil.
Don't worry about me. I'm gonna be fine.
Oh my gosh, look at him go. Just, I want to say, this cutscene looks so good. This looked not great originally. This looks so good. You can clearly tell what's happening here. Oh my god. Mill.
Oh dear. Kaine's so unstable, and Vice can't stop arguing with people. I hope they can hold it together once I'm gone. Well, I guess they'll just have to learn.
Did you hear that? He said NieR. Did you hear it?
I want to see you again. I want to see all of you again. Just one more time.
Oh.
I'm scared. I don't want to die.
The greatest weapon does what he can. Oh. Poor Mill. He's lived such a hard life. And he'd do anything for them. But it doesn't stop. It continues. The heavy punches are going to keep going. A shade that resembles myself. The original Gestalt. His dear sister Yona. We still can't understand. It's so funny that the fact that we can't understand the shades still. Sorry, Nami. I'll respond in a moment. We're still in the heavy part of the game. Probably a good time you didn't. A good thing you didn't raid me because of everything that's happening right now. It would have been hard for me to respond.
Let's go.
The only way Kaine knows how to respond is anger. I feel weird wearing these shades during this. Yes, Mill is gone. It's left to Kaine, Daimono, and we lost the king as well, supposedly. But yeah. Kaine doesn't know how to deal with this. She absolutely is very beloved. Emil and Kaine's relationship is extremely deep. Those two, it's weird to think one without the other at this point in the game. You look very cool though, thank you, Steedling. But yeah, welcome in, Nami. It's okay, you didn't have, if you didn't raid me, I'm happy for you to raid Bear. He must be streaming more on these days. I need to find a day when he's streaming so we can catch up. Because I don't think he's been doing the normal days that a lot of the Sapphires are on, so I might have to find a day where I can catch up with him. But yeah, Popola and Devola are gone. We've lost a lot of people in a short span of time. But beyond this door is, or these doors ahead of us is our goal. Yona. The entire game we've been trying to save Yona. Not only her health, but her life. And I think it's time to make our way forward. Teleporting Kaine. Oh, there's more shades. Shit. Are these things doing no damage to me? They're doing no damage to me, I've just noticed. Do these shades not do damage? Hang on, what? I would like to point out, so, now I can talk about the shades. The shades are, in fact, humans. These things we are fighting are fighting tooth and nail against me. For some reason, and they follow the Shadow Lord, the supposed original Gestalt. Those coloring books we picked up. Those small, like, little shades are actually children. It will make a little more sense once we do finish ending a bit more. But, yeah. It's... all the items you get in this game are relative to the actual what they are. The rarer the item, also, the more indicative of what they are. And, there's a reason why the little shades don't do a lot of damage. But it doesn't stop NieR from fighting back. A used coloring book. A school book. Ragged cloths. Lots of little things that insinuate a life before being this whatever they are now. But I think it's time to finish it all. Man, this room looks so different. I didn't recognize it at first. Wow, they've completely changed it. So in the original game, this was very pale and like really washed out. There he is. The real Daimono, guys. No, you thought it was me all along? Nope. There he is. The Shadow Lord. The shade that combined himself with Grimoire Noir. The most powerful of all the grimoires. Hey, Mother Clucker, what's up?
This ends here. Strike hard. Hold nothing back.
Alright, not gonna hold back. No holding back, I guess. Oh, that prick, he did it right as I did my finisher.
How could a mere tool hope to stand against the Shadow Lord?
Don't speak in such a manner, fool. I am nothing like you.
There we go. Watch out. What are we watching out for? Again, I'm very strong, chat, so I'm trying to take these fights a little bit slower, just so I don't overdo it. But, Noir, we've seen his movesets, and doesn't really have much to say.
Be careful.
But, the Shadow Lord, on the other hand, is me. Short sword. Lance. He has all my moves, but better. He also doesn't seem to stagger very easily, so I'm just gonna poke the shit out of this guy. Oh my gosh, he pushed me out of my special.
Vice, you alright?
Naturally, I am as fit as a fit.
The closer we get to the Shadow Lord, the more Vice is not being stable. There we go. There's the knockdown. See ya, me.
Wait.
Fiona! We fought so long, we finally got to you. My precious sister.
Brother?
Yona.
Still have no idea why no one hasn't memeified that fucking scene. Fiona doesn't recognize me as her brother anymore.
Just stop. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't need someone else's body. I don't want it. There's another girl inside this body. I can hear her. She won't stop crying. She says she wants to see her brother.
Yona's been possessed?
This girl loves her brother too, just as much as I do. It's not right, you know? It's not right that she can't see him.
Still can't understand him. But, as we see in front of her, the Gestalt in the replicant.
Isn't it?
The true human.
Yes, it's me. Let's go home.
Shades cannot live in the sun. It's interesting that the Project Gestalt takes place on the side of the planet that is perpetually in the sun.
I'm really sorry. I don't know what to... I'm so very sorry. No matter what.
Why is that why you have shades on? Bye, Yuna.
I love you.
There she goes. I mean, you gotta keep your sun protection, you know.
Hurry.
Gotta be wise, gotta be smart. We taught that well in Australia. Oh, I've pissed him off.
Kaine, watch over Yona for me.
Guess the true fight begins now.
Sadness. Think I'm gonna sympathize with you? I swore to protect my sister and my friends. If someone puts them in danger, they must stand aside or be cut down. Now come on, let's finish this.
Ever wanted to just fight yourself? Let's do it. Fuck you, me. Thing is, we are
Vice,
different.
what's wrong?
Because the replicants gained sentience.
You're freaking me out here, Vice.
I can't hurt this man. This man is invincible. He's cheating. I'm trying, Vice. I really want to explore the room. I love these like lamps and the boxes and the trees. I don't remember this stuff being in the room. I just remember Yona's bed in the original. Also, I thought the bed was on the opposite side of the room. Did they swap which side it was on? That's a weird change.
One moment, please.
You okay?
Fine, just fine. All right, no, I'm not.
Vice,
It seems some headstrong idiot has decided to push me beyond my limits.
He's walking, he's a bucket, he's walking.
Taken that job as a cookbook when I had the chance.
Vice, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Only joking. I hate cookbooks.
But
Let's go. Out of the way. I have one final task to fulfill.
where are you going?
Why, to stop him, of course. But after that, it's up to you. Only you can see this battle to its conclusion. I wish you
How very shonen, everyone putting their life aside
You can't.
to
I swore I'd always fight by your side.
help the main character,
You are an exceedingly stubborn lad. You know that.
doing anything for their friends.
Perhaps that's why I've so enjoyed our time together. But I fear this is where our journey ends.
Vice!
Oh, and remember what I told you about using my full name. Well, forget it. I've grown rather fond of Vice.
Vice. I knew you'd come around.
Don't let it go to your head now.
Remember, Noir talked about that him and Vice need to combine. They need to become one. Grimoire Vice has lost all his powers. And here we have our final moments.
I have a reason to live.
Both of them want to live. Man, I don't remember these tracking like crazy. But this is where it ends. Goodbye, me. If I get in there. One. That last little dash is a bit of a pain in the butt. 2. And the music box. I love a good music box motif. I love a good music box, me. He is a shade after all. First of the Gestalt is no more. Yeah, this is so crazy. This looks so nice. This is very pretty compared to the original. It's so nice. This room looks beautiful. They've done a really good job converting this. Because I feel like I remember the original one to be so washed out and uninteresting. But I guess that's it. We've lost Vice. We've killed the Shadow Lord. Yona is free.
Is Yona all right? Oh God, no.
Oh, please, the girl is fine.
Vice? Where are you? Are you okay?
I am as well as can be, considering I have lost my physical form. Doubtless my voice will be the next to go, so listen closely. Your sister is safe. Do not mourn her, and do not give up hope. Instead, you must call her back to you.
How?
Use your memories. Recall the times you spent with her. Present her with proof that the two of you live still, and that your lives have meaning.
I don't know.
Typical. But take heart. I know you can do it.
What lives had replicants lived?
Cookies. What's my favorite book? That's my magic storybook. What's my favorite place? Home with you. What's my favorite flower? The lunar tear, of course. Okay, one more question.
One more question.
Who do I love more than anyone?
That's easy. Oh.
That's not the right.
I've been playing Japanese games, so I was pressing circle. Me! I know that's the same answer you would write to, chat.
Is that you?
But we haven't seen each other in years. Yona's been unconscious in the body of, well, in her own body, while the Gestalt.
My body?
Yes, Yona. It's yours and yours alone.
You look bigger than before.
You didn't die as well.
Grown up.
Remember, replicants become unstable and fall apart.
Been asleep this whole time?
Something like that.
It's almost like I'm a princess from some fairy tale.
Oh, Yona. I'm so happy to have you back.
Me too.
Kaine.
You and your sister, you have a good life, Kay?
Where are you gonna go?
Guess I'll...
You could stay with us, you know.
Thanks, but I'll pass. You know how it is. I got my own shit to take care of.
What do you mean?
Personal shit, alright? Anyway, take it easy, yeah?
Kaine.
Hey, look.
Friggin' Yona.
Beautiful.
That one distraction.
For the longest time, I heard someone telling me how they wanted to see the light. And now, they can finally see it.
Trapped in darkness, the shades. Kaine leaves. She knows the truth now about the Gestalt and the Replicant project too. Both of them do. Not sure that they fully comprehend the depths of it yet, but the owner is back. We've killed the Shadow Lord, the first of the Gestalts. The project has failed, and the Replicants have a chance to live on.
Thank you. I love it.
Why is she smiling like that? All teeth, no smile.
It's so sunny today.
Yeah, it sure is.
And this is where, as a games journalist, we end our playthrough. But as a gamer, we'll continue. So, NieR and Yona, the Replicants, the Gestalt, sorry, the original humans no longer exist. They've ended their life. They've passed on, held on for like 10,000 years in a world falling apart due to a virus that could not be stopped. Something that destroyed the world. Something that fell from the sky and caused devastation, splitting their timeline from our timeline into theirs. And project was instigated that they thought would save humanity, overseen by androids and various magical devices. And it failed. It fell apart. They split human and soul in two, hoping that they would be able to resurrect humanity one day, while human bodies went on, but the Gestalts weren't stable. They wouldn't stay that way forever. The amount of replicants they went through just took far too long. So two things started to happen. It's unclear whether or not it's because the replicants started to begin finding sentience and becoming their own selves, or if it was because the Gestalts started going unstable. But the project went on for too long. They couldn't find a way to bring back body and soul. And they would believe that the only way they could do it was with the original. So a little town, a little quiet village, a young boy and his sister were forced forward, hoping that they would one day re-meet their original bodies. Two androids oversaw an entire project, and it failed. Absolutely failed. The androids died, the original body was lost, but the Gestalts, the replicants, went on to live their own life. Kira Buckland, question mark. Kyle McCarley, question mark. I don't know what these are. I still don't know. So, okay, so those two I've just noticed. One, this is an alphabetical credits, which I always loved. There's Liam O'Brien. There was two voice actors there. The voice of 2B and 9S are somewhere in this game. I don't know where. And they are somewhere in here. And it's new content. Not only is the boat new content, there's other new content. And this is where I will get too excited, chat, because I'm going to experience new things that I haven't seen. We're going to see a change in the game. This is ending A. There is multiple other endings post this, where the game changes and becomes something bigger and crazier. And I'm a little excited. Yeah. I always think that the ending of this game is just so heavy, at least the ending A, because it insinuates so much, and it's like for an ending, it's what it is. It ends how it ends, and this is where a lot of people tapped out, especially journalists who didn't understand what this game was, and people reviewed it very poorly because they played it up to this point and was like, "Yep, that's the end of the game. Okay, that's it. That's the end of this RPG." This is only the beginning. We now know the truth about the Replicant and Gestalt project, but we haven't really explored the depth of it, what it actually means, because there's way more to each of the individuals we've encountered. Shades are a pretty interesting creature. Spike sent Spencer as well, also on question mark. So there's a new ending in the game. I will spoil that, guys, because we're this far in. There is an ending I have not seen. There is an ending that was in one of the books, which insinuated a particular timeline, which was assumed the ending that made the Automata universe. Because how this project goes, like this ending A surely could have led into Automata, but there's another ending that insinuates a different way that this could have all gone, which is hinted at to what Emil talks about in his storyline in Automata. But just so you guys know, yes, Emil did not pass there. A little spoiler, I think it actually happens after this credits. Emil is the immortal weapon, the perfect weapon, and we know that. We've seen him in Automata. Even if he was fragmented and lost himself, he lives on. Ending A. You'll live on in our hearts. Exit the clear data save screen? Yes. Load your cleared data after completing the game to experience Kaine's story. You can now read a departed mother's diary in your house. Oh shit, wait! Oh, I can read this now. The wardrobe has been added, options has been added. Oh, new outfits obtained by progressing through departed mother's diary. Change music has been added. Oh, I can change the music. Okay, so we got a whole heap of new stuff. So there's a whole heap of DLC and extra stuff that's been added to the game that I haven't played with yet, but I'm kind of looking forward to it. So, that's the end of Replicant A. Let's have a look at the options. I'll probably go a little bit longer, chat. Probably not too much longer. So apparently, if we increase the difficulty, we actually will get more drops, which I'm kind of tempted to do because where we were at was, we got to a good point. So we'll increase that to hard. Wardrobe. So I can actually change the costumes. So we got Yorha outfits. So we actually just did that ending in normal. So we can actually just change it to this. But, oh, I don't actually have for Emil. Oh, I can't even change. Oh, you can change the magic orbs look. Yeah, hang on. How do I get to the... Oh, look, we got the end credits now, so we can do that. So how do we read the mother's diary? Is that in... That might be in-game? I don't know if I should do ending A in ending B in the Automata outfits. It'll be a little weird, I think. We can always change these at any time, I guess. I kind of want to see these, so... We saw the costumes, so let's see new costumes. And we also had like a... Oh, we could actually change the music as well. Hang on, let's see what the music difference is. So game settings, audio, sound, music, change music, on. Change the game's background music to tracks from NieR Automata. No way. This setting can only be changed on the title screen. So yeah, I assumed that. So we're going to have a few things where we can only change them in the title screen, but that's okay. So, let's see what do. Should we put the bandana on? I feel like almost like we should bandana it up. Oh! Oh, we know that theme well. Automata. Oh, this is going to be weird. This is going to be weird, chat. I'm now going to be weirded out by doing this. I'm curious what songs are going to play where. So, This will be interesting playthrough. Oh my god, look! Pod's on the load screen now, and Pod falls over! Pod is Yona. I would never have made Pod Yona, but I guess that makes sense. I've always felt like Weiss was,
Whenever I interacted with Kaine, I was reminded about something from my past. Maybe my mind has been confusing her with my sister this whole time. Anyway.
And this is why we do Young Brother NieR in one way. Because ending B starts from the free release of Kaine from the wall. The endings aren't that long. Kaine's dreams, discrimination. This is ending B, Kaine's story. The sound of rain filled the village. Moo? You were just mooing in the field, Nami? Are you going to go through all the endings? Not tonight. I will go through all the endings though. Tonight we'll just finish up with. We'll do a bit of this. I've got like 30 minutes more, and then we'll switch over to. Well, not switch over. We'll finish up, and then tomorrow we will do the other endings. I came to harass you. That's okay. I need a bit of harassment. Also, I noticed I'm freezing up a bit. So I'll read Kaine's story. The steep cliffs that surround the area magnified sound, causing even the slightest drizzle to rattle like a thunderstorm. Thin wisps of smoke streamed from huts as the villagers huddled in their homes and waited out the rain. A single child, however, had braved the downpour and was now wandering slowly toward the wooden, hawk-shaped, weathered vane house in the center of town. The wanderer reached the vane, which had existed as long as they could remember, and stared. The child's face was simultaneously delicate and fierce, like a teacup that survived a shipwreck. Those traits combined with the pale skin to give a face an almost sexless quality. If the beak turns east, I go home. If it stays west, then I... The child blinked. The rain slowly dripped down the one young's short hair and began to descend to the ground. Come on. Come on. The child felt a slight breeze and watched the vein slowly creak to life. Spinning this way and that for a moment, it finally settled, the beak pointing firmly east. East. Really? Before the vein could move again, a jagged rock came spinning and tumbling through the air, striking the home at against the child's head. The force of the blow dropped the child to the ground as the hail of stones began to fall all around. Oh no, they found me. Ada, let me smother you with my small your small furry body. I am very small. Palicos are very small lads. You're busy reading Notley? Nutley's? Nutley. What is Nutley from? Blinky Bill. Oh my god. Oh no, they found me. A heartbreaking smile crept across the child's face as the stones continued their assault. Through the rain, the sound of multiple footsteps grew louder. Do you know what's funny, Nami? Is it's very hard to play, like, is to talk to Jat in certain ways in a more jovial manner when reading these, because some of this stuff is extremely dark. The footsteps grew louder and the voice rang out. Yahoo! Kaine! Belonged to Demo, the worst of the bullies in the area. As Kaine struggled to stand, the final stone came skittering through the mud and bounced against her foot. Blood oozed from the cut in above her eye. Her blurred her vision, but she could not make the shapes as a shape of Dino and his usual gang of idiots. The boy seemed to be taken back by a moment. Kaine seemed indifferent to the blood dripping from her face, but quickly regained his bravado. What's up, freak? You like the rain? You like getting all wet? Or you decide to run away from home? Although she knew it was futile, Kaine turned to leave. Before she could get a few more steps, the other children scrambled around to her, cruelty burning in their eyes. Cruelty burning in their eyes. Kaine knew those were not the only eyes on her. The tormentors watched from their safety of their homes. She was attuned to this sensation. It was one she experienced many times before. Foot? Oh, I thought you were talking to me? Wait, which part? Some villagers simply turned a blind eye to the actions of their children. Many encouraged it openly. In society ruled by superstition and fear, Kaine was something to be hated, and if possible, destroyed. Remember, Kaine is a young girl, now in quotation marks, as she is part shade. What up, freak? Nami. I would never call you that. A bit freaky. I didn't say you could leave, freak. Deimo's words chewed her like a worm through an apple. He can't hurt me, she lied to herself. Be strong, be brave. He can't hurt me. He can't hurt me. He can't hurt... Oh look, the little freak's gonna cry. What's wrong? Are you sad that everyone hates you and wants you dead? Kaine prayed for the rain to flood down and carry her away from the world that seemed to have no place for her. But if there were gods, they chose to ignore her. As Daimo crept closer, clouds began to thin and rain slowed. Weather even hates me. I'm useless. Failure. I wish Daimo's rocket had taken my head off. Kaine wouldn't meet Daimo's leering great gaze. She lowered her eyes and stared at the muddy ground below. The bully moved forward until he was inches away. He could smell the scent of old meat on his... she could smell the scent of old meat on his breath. The boy grabbed Kaine's face with thick fingers and yanked it upward. He tried to turn, but her force gazed back and jammed his thumb against her eyelid to pry it open. Show me. No. No. Just say no? Daimo grinned evilly. You don't say no to me. No one says no to me. Not even taking his attention from Kaine. He called his cohorts. Come on, guys. Let's give this freak what she deserves. As Daimo finished, kicks and blows began to rain down upon Kaine. Daimo paused, still grinning as Kaine curled up in a ball and tried to make the pain stop. I don't get you, freak. What you trying to act like a girl for? Everyone knows what you really are. Kaine ignored the question, choosing to stare at the weather vane. Turns out this story is not about the fact that Kaine is a shade. She's not part shade yet. That hasn't occurred yet. Turns out Kaine was different in a way that the game didn't really specify before now. Well, it hinted at it. What about the slut? What? As if supremely confident about the future it had chosen for her. Go home? Yeah, that's a funny joke for someone with dead parents and no home to go to. Freak! Chanted children. Freak! 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 She had big titties? She does. She is a, I don't know if hermaphrodite is the correct term for her. But she does have the lower half of male genitalia, the top half female. Intersex. Thank you. Kaine closed her eyes and listened to the rain, waiting for the pain to start again. Clutching hands of the children, village children, closed around her. She bent her mind to the sound of the rain, letting it become her world entire. The rain fell. Pain never came. Only laughter of her tormentors. The terrified cries did she open a single bloody caked eye. Kaine was shocked to see Dino sprawled on the ground, holding his head and screaming in pain. She could see blood welling from the spaces between his fat, twisted fingers. Oh my god, he's crying. He's actually crying. Deprived of their leader, the children glanced back and forth between themselves, as if waiting for someone to step forward and take charge. When no savior emerged, they began to uneasily shuffle away from Kaine. But the young girl was the least of her concerns. Instead, their attention was wrapped on an ancient woman standing a few feet away. Struggling for a breath for a moment, she finally spoke in a voice thick with rage. Hurts like a bitch, don't it? Now I suggest you scatter before I throw another one. And if any of you little bastards ever touch my Kaine again, I'll do far worse than throw a rock. You can count on it. The old woman crouched down and gently touched the hand of Daimo's, who he was using to cover the wound. Before he could think to protest, she ground her palm into the wound and twisted back and forth. Ow, he screamed, leaping to his feet. Stop, what are you doing? Quit whining. Ain't no everyone died from a scratch. You hit me with a rock, you stupid bitch. A big one. That thing could have killed me. The old woman shrugged. Death is the best cure for stupid. Daimo's face twisted with rage at her words. Locking his eyes on Kaine, he took a step backwards and spat on the ground. Get out. Leave this village. No one wants you here, either of you. Seeing the old woman grab another stone, Nemo and his companions turned tail and ran. As they fled, the old woman grabbed her side and barked out a single laugh. Ha! Look at the fat boy go! Guess he's healthy enough to run from a fight. The woman's smile faded as she turned her attention to Kaine. Kneeling down, she removed the shawl and placed it around the young girl's shoulders, and produced a cloth from the folds of her dress and began to blotting out the blood on her forehead. "Oh, Kaine," she said, "why didn't you fight back? You're stronger than that lot." The words of her grandmother stung Kaine. She turned away. "Don't be nice to me," she said. "I don't deserve it. Nothing matters anymore." Her tears held back as her cheek in check. Her tears held in check for so long, finally beginning to fall on the muddy ground below. "Everyone hates me. They think because I cause bad things to happen. They think I'm a freak. I wish I was dead." Kaine's tears turned to sobs as she felt her grandmother's hands on her shoulders. Despite her advanced age and diminutive size, the woman was surprising of strength. Kaine found her unable to turn away. "Don't talk like that, girl. It's a river wide and deep that flows between the realms of this world and the next." Spooky! Oh my god, Spooky, thank you for the host. Spooky, have we talked about NieR? Holy shit, I don't know if we've talked to NieR about NieR. But we've just finished ending A, and we're starting ending B, with the story of Kaine, which is pretty intense stuff. Thank you for the host, man. "It grants no mercy that it was attempting to cross in. You got a duty to fight until your last breath. Understand?" The old woman tightened her grip and tried to still the tremor in her voice. "You know the pain of losing someone close to you, Kaine. You know because you survived it." As the words hit home, Kaine was struck with the force of her love from the old woman. As a young child, she didn't even know of her grandmother, but when her parents died, the woman quickly accepted her as her own. As Kaine called her, she was cunning, vulgar, and quick to violence, and their first few years together had not been easy. But with each year that passed, Kaine and her grandmother had grown closer. However, it was only now, sitting in the mud with tears and blood caking her face, Kaine truly understood the depths of her affection. Here was a woman who had seen hard times, who had seen death, who had fought through all these things and somehow to emerge on the other side. If anyone could understand Kaine's pain and loneliness, it was her. "Do I make you sick, Grandma?" "Of course not, don't be an ass." Kaine drew her grandmother's moth-eaten shawl around her body and shuddered. "But my body, it's not normal. If I was normal, then Mum and Dad wouldn't—" "Hush," interrupted Grandma. "I'll not hear another word of this nonsense. You're my granddaughter and I love you. And if folks have a problem with that, then they can just go to hell." And with that, the old woman reached down and placed a wreath of dried flowers in Kaine's hair. The skill it took to bend the flowers without breaking the stems and losing a single petal was remarkable. The beauty of it made Kaine want to cry all over again. "Oh my gosh, these are lunar tears! Grandma, you made this for me?" Lunar tears are legendary flowers. Most people would live their entire lives without seeing one, yet her grandmother somehow collected a dozen or more. Kaine reached up to touch the wreath, as if she couldn't believe it was real. Where did you find these?" "Just stumbled on them while I was out doing some shopping." The old woman turned away as she spoke, leading Kaine to suspect that the search had been more difficult than she was letting on. The pains she took to construct that ornament, let alone track down all the flowers she used in its construction, made Kaine's heart hurt. She reached up and gently adjusted the wreath, admiring the way it fell between her fingers. "It didn't quite turn out right," said her grandmother as she squinted at it. "These old hands have trouble with delicate work, but it sure looks good on a pretty girl like you." Kaine blushed and turned away. You think I'm pretty?" "Of course you are. What a fool thing to say." Thank you, Grandma." Her grandmother smiled. "We're gonna be fine, you and me," she said. "As long as we got each other, we'll be just fine." Kaine took her grandmother's hand in hers, and the two of them struggled to their feet. As they began to walk a long walk home, Kaine gripped the hand with all her might, as if trying to stop smoke from drifting away in the wind. Rain had stopped. Kaine stood beneath the wither vein, watching it spin in lazy circles, no longer caring about the direction it faced and when it stopped. I don't need to escape. I have a home now. Grandma loves me, and that's enough. Even if it's us against the world. Kaine let her gaze drift up past the vein into the clouded sky. The last faint hints of a rainbow were slowly fading. As she turned and headed home, the light scattered into a million particles and vanished, seemingly taken away on the breeze. Kaine dreams. Daily life. Wait, hang on. Does this go straight into the next story? Oh my gosh, I didn't realize this. I've completely forgot this. Sorry, chat. This is a long read. We're doing a long read now. That's probably going to be the last thing we do actually today. We'll probably see these stories and finish up. Oh my god, this sucks. Like I said, NieR is a niche game for niche people sometimes. Definitely Replicant more so than Automata ever is. It's just sad. Kaine's had a hard life. That's the thing. It's hard to stress to people. Kaine has so much happen to her. That's why her and Emil have such a bond. Because, well, all three of them, NieR, Kaine, and Emil, it's even the twins. It's just so many characters. It's a sad world in the NieRverse, unfortunately. That's why when they show affection and love and brightness, it means that much more. In the distance, Kaine heard steady sounds of an axe striking wood. The noise had a purposeful quality to it, as if she was hearing a master woodsman go about his work. I've got to constantly. Please read me a bedtime story. I think it's bedtime story time, Steedling. Typical anime? Oh, I feel like this is a bit more than typical anime, unfortunately. But again, NieR is for certain tastes, I would say. Firewood being produced, however, was far from the work of art it could be. You haven't seen enough anime then? I don't know, Nami. I've seen a very, very large amount of anime. Pieces of every shape and size were being flung around about the barren yard with wild abandon. Anyone trying to stack such pieces of wood would probably die from frustration alone before the job was through. Did you count them? I don't know. I'm sure my anime list probably has counted them. It's a lot, a lot. So I haven't. It's funny. Talking about anime is a weird thing because I have watched a lot less over the past 5 years or so. Stupid piece of shit axe. Kaine's grandmother flailed away with the axe, filling the air with both splinters of wood and words that would make most hardened soldiers blush. Grandma, called Kaine. That you, Kaine? Yelled the old woman, taking her eyes off the wood for a moment. Don't get too close or I might take your goddamn foot off by mistake. She brought down the axe on a piece of wood, sending chips in every direction. One spun past Kaine close enough for her to hear it whistle, at which point she decided to step back. Once she scuttled to a safe distance, she cupped her hands around her mouth and shouted, Grandma, do you need help? I can get water or lunch, a new axe or something. The axe, poised to strike another wobbly blow, paused in midair. The old woman considered her granddaughter's offer for a moment, and then smiled. Tell you what, since I'm doing such a piss-poor job of chopping, why don't you come here and take over and I can get the water? Shades have been restless lately, and I don't want you running into one of them bastards. Relinquishing the axe, her grandmother picked up a long pole with the wooden buckets on either end. Gathering water was by far more the difficult two of the jobs, but Kaine knew better than to complain. Once Grandma's mind was set, there was no change in it. I'm well over 300, I know that. Oh, is there a way... Okay, chat, if there was a way to tell you... I haven't got all my anime on one hard drive anymore, but I have a 3 terabyte hard drive full of anime, and that's just ones I have downloaded, not ones that I've collected. I wish there was a way I could tell how many folders, because I've got mine split up into categories and stuff. I am curious how much I do have. A lot. I like a lot. No. Are we gonna play the EP measuring game, Nami? Kaine did her best with help with the chores, but Grandma took every task that was required to travel to the village. So She had a long list of plausible excuses. Kaine knew the real reason though. She didn't want her granddaughter to be taunted and harassed by the villagers. Once Kaine moved in, Grandma decided to take residence in a good distance from the area. So remember that little hut that Kaine was in? Also the wreath on it as well. No, we don't have to. I'm just saying anime do be weird and fucked up and tragic a lot. I don't know if I'd necessarily phrase it as a lot, but there's to the degree that NieR decides to touch on. I mean, we were literally talking about Berserk yesterday, which is possibly one of the highest of that. But it's interesting when they actually cash in. I think it's a better way to phrase it when it's like something that's tragic and heartwarming at the same time in a way that's like, I would say it fulfills its duty. Like it touches on those things in a way that's like there's a justification as to why they've done these things. I don't know what you mean. I just cry? Nabi. If I played this game, I was here and reading this, I'd just be crying. That's the thing. Like, I like reading this stuff and I like encountering these things because it does. It's nice to see it just expression through words sometimes, especially in I don't know. We're at the end of a stream day and I'm not particularly deep at the end. But what I will say is yeah, I prefer this much more than say something like Elfen Lied or something like that, which is just fucked up for the sake of being fucked up, where it's very little for me to justify. It's also a reason that I have a bit of issue with things like Evangelion and stuff as well, but yeah, I'm tired and hungry. What time is it for you, Nami? I'll be finishing up in like 10 minutes. Hopefully we get through these stories. I've never watched Evangelion. What? That's crazy. For someone to have watched 300 individual anime series, not watching Eva is pretty crazy. Rare were the days when any but the two of them could be found on the rocky acre of land called home. Kaine enjoyed the solitude, but harbored a secret resentment that her grandmother was forced to spend her golden years in such a place. After watching her grandmother lead, Kaine turned her attention to the task at hand. She had never chopped wood before in her life, and soon discovered why the old woman hated the chore. After swinging the axe produced a tiny crack of wood, she finally managed to connect with a solid stroke, and the tool embedded itself in the log and refused to budge. Frustrated, Kaine swung around and threw it, the log and all, across the yard. Damn it! Crap! Suddenly she understood the grandmother's joy and a good curse. Happy now, she picked up the axe and forced it through the wood, and resumed chopping. She had natural skill with the blade, but the task was challenging, and the blisters soon began to form on her small, pink hands. This is tough, and my logs are weird sizes. Spitting on her palms, and ignoring the pain, Kaine redoubled her efforts. Just as she was developing a rhythm, Grandma returned to the village. Setting down a bucket with a small size, she took a look at the logs and coughed out with a wheezy laugh. Pretty clumsy, girl. You better practice. You better practice if you... Suddenly, Grandmother collapsed to her knees, causing one of the buckets to wobble precariously. Wide-eyed, Kaine dropped the axe and ran to her grandmother's side. Eva never showed up in my path when I was younger, but at this point I don't really care. I don't have much interest in it. I'd suggest watching the original series and maybe the first movie, but other than that, I wouldn't watch any of the other stuff. It's worth it for intrigue and importance to the anime industry, but I don't know. I still have my issues with it, but yeah. There's other stuff. Yeah, Eva's the Eternal. Eva is the most important or biggest well-known anime in Japan by far. It's massive. Grandma! The old woman shook her head and pointed a tumbling finger at the bucket. Get the bucket. Let it spill. Kaine raided the bucket with her foot and knelt by her grandma. A small bit of water sloshed from over the side and made a new home on the hem of her dress, but Kaine didn't notice. Grandma, what's happening? Crazed with panic, she grabbed her grandmother by the shoulders and shook. After a moment, the old woman lifted her palms and batted Kaine away. Stop that! Stop! She breathed heavily. It ain't like I'm dying. Just tired from the trip, that's all. Kaine desperately wanted to believe her, but one look at the old woman's shaking hands and worn face told her more than the words could. Her grandma had lived a long life. Hard life. It seemed a bit that the bill was finally coming due. The time when the grandmother watched over Kaine was ending. Sooner rather than either of them had feared, the positions would be reversed. I also haven't watched Monogatari, except Kantangatari. I keep... Nami, that's really funny, because I keep trying to watch that series. I've watched the series, the original set, and then I keep forgetting to start the new ones. It's taken me a long time. I haven't watched Code Geass. I wouldn't watch Code Geass. I actually didn't like it. A lot of people like it, but I think it's really hammy, and I have a lot of problems with that too. I don't know where to start. There's a good list somewhere. You'll be able to find out the correct order of watching. I would just suggest doing the order of release, personally, just because the quality of the anime actually gets better as time goes on. The next morning, Kaine came to the side of her grandmother's bed and took her wrinkled hand. "Grandma, you're sick, and you need medicine. I'm going to the village." The old woman shook her head and tried to rise, but Kaine gently pushed her down. "It's all right," she said. "I'll be fine." Her grandmother fixed her with a gaze that would melt steel. After what seemed like eternity, she finally lowered her eyes and sighed. "Well, I don't like it, damn it. But I guess I should quit being so stubborn and let you grow up." The old woman watched Kaine strap her boots and made her way down the road to the village. Hours later, as an unseen sun made its way across the dark, rainy skies, she was still watching. Kaine moved at a brisk pace, checking her pockets every few minutes to make sure the money her grandmother gave her was still there. Every noise caused her to spin on her heels, making sure he wasn't being stalked by a shade, or worse, Daimono and his gang. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that would be my suggestion, I would say. But she encountered neither tormentors nor shades, and Kaine finally found herself at the entrance to the village. The few adults she could see glanced sideways at her, then muttered each other behind raised hands before slinking away into the shadows. Her heart racing, Kaine took a series of rapid, shallow breaths and tried to calm herself. "I have to prove myself. I have to help Grandma. I have to be strong." She chanted those words over and over in her head as she slowly went away. Finally, her eyes settled on a rotund older woman who was angrily waving her arms in the air, telling anyone who would listen exactly what she thought of Kaine's presence. "Hey lady," said Kaine with a bravado she did not feel. "Where's the apothecary?" The woman's flabby cheeks shook in bewildered anger. "How dare this thing speak to me?" they seemed to say, but Kaine saw in her eyes she held a different emotion. Fear. "Yeah, they're both scared, lady." "We're both scared, lady. Trust me on this one." "Which way?" Kaine repeated. The old woman pointed a small building to her right and hitched up her dress and stumbling off in the other direction. Kaine cringed, expecting a stone to come flying across the assembled crowd. None came. Miura, though, I know. Did you? I assume you didn't see my thing yesterday, Nami, on it. Yeah, I talked pretty in length, probably a bit too much more than I probably should have about Miura's passing, but it's pretty heavy. Yeah, it'll be in my VOD from yesterday. I'm not gonna clip it or highlight or anything like that. I feel like that's one of those things that exists in the moment. I'm not going to make anything more out of it, but yeah, it was pretty heavy. Her mind was filled with strange sense of pride as she made her way through the apothecary. But the new emotion had little time to take root. As she opened the door, she noticed a familiar customer at the counter. It was Daimono. Clearly he had been sent here on some kind of family errand because his gang of followers was nowhere to be found. "Oh my god," he sputtered out. "I mean, what are you doing here, freak?" The insult delivered without force, and Kaine happily ignored it, stretching in tiptoes to see over the counter. She asked the shopkeeper. She must be still young, the idea she's on tiptoes looking over the counter. She asked for the shopkeeper for medication. "Ha, bark, don't it. The old bitch finally ready to keel over? Go to hell, Demo." The boys grew wide as they seemed to fall out of his head, but before they could let fly a comeback, or worse, a punch, the apothecary told them to knock it off before he kicked him out of the store. Demo slunk out of the shop, cursing Kaine under his breath. Once he was gone, she allowed herself to breathe once more, taking a brief tour of the shop while the owner prepared her medication. Countless of tiny bottles filled with cramped in the cramped store, each with a label written in some indecipherable language. The ocean of aromas assaulted her nose, creating a scent that was so exotic but altogether unpleasant. Seeing such a variety of supplies gave Kaine a sense of peace. Surely in a world so vast, it would be a place where she could call home. The OG Berserk was one of my first animes I ever saw. Oh really? And probably the 5th one. No way, that's crazy. It took me a while to actually see Berserk. I think I must have watched it when I was a kid on TV. It probably would be about the same time frame actually, Nami, now that I think about it. Which is crazy to say. It's so strange to me. The first anime that is a proper one that I went out of my way as an adult one to watch was probably Bubblegum Crisis, which is something I feel like a lot of people wouldn't know, have no idea what I'm talking about. On the far wall behind the counter rested a portrait of a stunning young girl. The picture had once contained bright, vibrant colors, but time had worked its cruel magic and were beginning to fade. The beauty of the work, however, remained undiminished. You like that picture? Oh my gosh, Taco. Join me right at the very, very end, Taco. We're just finishing off this story. Kaine turned to find the apothecary with a small vial of medicine in his hand. His eyes were gentle but sad. He seemed to stare through her into nothing, as he spoke. It's my daughter. I sketched it when she was still just a little girl. She's been dead for a long time now. Kaine didn't know how to respond. She just stared at the portrait and tried to come up with the right words. Pictures are wonderful things, continued the shopkeeper. They let the one closest to you live on forever. He shook his head slightly, and then looked down at Kaine and smiled. Handing her a medicine, he reached into his sizable green apron and produced a handful of old waxy crayons. Like after we started getting to Naruto and stuff? Yeah, my dad got on Netflix. Hang on, wait. God. My dad got on Netflix through an order a DVD thing. And after we started getting to Naruto and stuff, Naruto is really good. I mean, yeah. I don't talk much about anime, but one day maybe I'll break down like anime and things that I suggest people watching and thoughts about different things. Look at this cool cat reading in the dark on a black screen. You should have these. There's no one left. I almost had my bandana on today because I switched over. There's no one left that I wish to draw. Kaine instinctively took a step back, causing the shopkeeper's face to darken. Yes, I've heard the rumors about you, he said. It's a small village and words travel quickly. Between you and me, I'm not sure which of them to believe, but I also don't think they matter much. I know your grandmother, Kali, and I think she was driven out of this town because people are just deplorable. Grandma's name is Kali? Thought Kaine suddenly. She was still mulling over the new fact in her mind as she reached out and gently took the crayons from the apothecary's hands. Your grandmother is an old friend of mine, he said as Kaine scooted away yet again. I owe her much. I wager she would like it if you drew a picture of her. Yes, I think she would like that very much. Kaine murmured a quiet agreement, but inside of her heart was bursting. Never before had a villager treated her with anything but complete contempt. It was tiny, almost imperceivable step, but it was a step nonetheless. With enough tiny steps, you might one day discover the rest of the world. When Kaine returned home, she found that her grandmother was asleep in bed. Her feet were blackened and raw, and even bleeding in a bit in places, leading Kaine to think that she had been pacing around the room until exhaustion finally caught up with her. She placed the medicine by her grandmother's pillow and turned to leave, but found the old woman's hand clasped around her arm. Back already, are you? Asked Grandmother with a yawn. Come here, let me have a look at you. Grandma sat up and examined Kaine from head to toe. Finally satisfied that nothing terrible had befallen her grandchild, she leaned back and allowed herself to relax. Well, how was it? Those bastards give you any trouble? It was kind of fun, said Kaine with a small smile. No, seriously, it was. Fun, eh? Asked her grandmother with a small voice which implied she believed anything but. Uh-huh. So anytime you need me to run an errand, just let me know. As she spoke, Kaine removed the crayons from her pocket. After a brief explanation of their source, she informed grandmother that she was going to sketch her a portrait. A portrait of me? Ridiculous. No one wants to stare at a wrinkled old crone. But Grandma, it'll make you live forever. Horse shit, said her grandmother, throwing back the sheet from her bed. Living forever would be just piss me off. Now put those crayons away and help me with dinner. But Kaine would not relent. In the end, grandmother found herself leaning against the wall of their house, as if posing for a master artist. Kaine took up the crayons, eyed up her subject carefully, and set to work. Remember, Kaine hasn't really drawn before. Just as her grandmother was about to nod off, Kaine had finished the piece. And after staring for a bit, she released the grip from her grip and let it slowly drift to the floor. It's terrible. It doesn't even look like you. Sorry, Grandma. I thought that these crayons would, you know, make drawing easy or something? The old woman's eyes narrowed as her grandmother's disappointment. Let me be the judge of it, she said, ignoring the pain in her back and reaching to the paper. The sketch could have been a person's face. It could also have been a boulder, a lump of clay, or an incredibly misshapen loaf of bread, all rendered in chaotic array of colors. The old woman stared at the picture for a long time and then slowly wheezed out a laugh. Oh, Kaine, she said between laughter. You truly are my blood. You're as clumsy as me and I love it. But hush, I don't want to hear any more bull about how ugly you think it is. It came from the heart. I'll treasure it for always. True to her word, the old woman gave the picture a place in honor on the kitchen table, above the kitchen table. In the days that followed, Kaine would often catch her staring at the portrait, with a strange smile on her face. The action had been interpreted as silent, mocking laughter. A week later, Kaine could stand it no more and asked for her grandmother to take down the artwork. Posh, said the old woman. I'll take this down when they roll me in my shroud. She wondered this for a bit and then turned to Kaine and dropped to one knee. Listen to me, girl. Seeing this picture makes me happy in a way I've never felt before. And it makes me want to go on, so that someday you can feel the same happiness. It was for a moment that burned into Kaine's memory, a perfect blend of pride, love, and joy that came together to form a long life remembrance. She swore that she'd never forget this moment, never forget that the old woman who had made her place in the world possible. Time moves on. People and memories move on in and out, and life goes like ghosts passing through a hall. But this moment is different. Kaine swore, because I'll remember this forever. Forever. Oh boy, there's one more. Hang on, I might need to, give me a sec, guys. It's actually getting quite dark in my room. There we go. Kaine listened to the sound of crackling firewood and stared at the back of the object on her plate. She'd been pushing it around a wooden disc for a good 10 minutes, ignoring the bemused stare of her grandmother. Finally, she summoned the courage and gave the object a brief sniff. With a sharp bitter scent, it flew up her nostrils and made it home, causing her face to twist in disgust. Grandma, I can't believe you want me to eat a bug. The old woman threw some more wood under the cooking pot and snorted. It's no bug, you fool girl. It's a berry. Why the hell would I be feeding you bugs? Yeah, well, it sure looks like a bug, said Kaine, and I think it's burnt or something because it smells terrible. With that, Kaine held her nose and threw the berry in her mouth, chewing it quite little as possible. Oh yeah? It's terrible, alright. Why, you little brat, laughed the old woman. Look at the sass on you. You've been spending too much time with me, and that's a fact. 5 years had passed since the moment Kaine's grandmother had saved her from the bullies. As if often the way the two stubborn people, their relationship had grown in fits and starts, but moved forward all the same. Meals that used to be somber affairs were now filled with laughter and hurled abuse in equal measure. Kaine could not remember a time when she had been happier. As the years went by, Kaine started to shoulder more and more daily responsibilities. Grandmother's legs grew weaker by the day. She could no longer do many of the chores that you used to take for granted. And so this morning, Kaine found herself lacing up her work boots with a breakfast and burnt berry rolling through her belly. Where are we going today? Asked Grandma suddenly. Kaine looked up surprised. The old woman rarely asked for specifics anymore. Well, I was going to check out Kalma's trees to see if they were ripe. I thought we'd make some jam or something. Oh, and I'm going to pick up some flagstones, so I need to take the wheelbarrow. Flagstones? What the hell for? Kaine stared at her grandmother and held an arm and swept it around her at their home. Constructed mostly by cloth, rope, and rubble, the old place sagged like a boxer in a final round. Grandma, a dying cat could chew through this house. I'm going to build a stone wall so we have some protection. The old woman laughed, exposing a toothless grin to the world. Goddamn girl, if a bunch of thieves want to ransack this old place, let them come. We ain't got nothing worth stealing anyway. I'm not worried about thieves, I'm worried about shades. People saw one of the west of the village yesterday. The old woman tilted her head and stared at her granddaughter. Well, shoot. I don't know why you have to do it today. We can worry about it some other... Grandma, no. We don't go to the Kelma trees. We won't be eaten tonight. We won't eat tonight. You know that. Confused expression passed across the old woman's face, and for a moment she was a small child lost in a carnival. Yeah, yes, said after a bit. Yes, of course you're right. So I'm sorry, Kaine. Lately it seems my mind is... She didn't finish the thought, instead walking over to her nightstand and gently taking the wreath of lunateas from a drawer. Flower petals had aged as a brilliant whiteness. Kaine thought it was more beautiful now than the first day she first received it. You're going to be a true woman soon, Kaine, her grandmother said as she placed the flowers in the girl's hair. That means less chatter about shades, building defenses and walls, and more talk about how beautiful you've become. Annoyed, Kaine reached up and removed the garland, but the look on her grandmother's face stopped her hand. You're a beautiful thing, said the old woman. There ain't another like you in the world. Very proud of you. Okay, grandmother, that's enough of your goddamn compliments for a day. Shut the mouth on you. Where'd that come from? Gee, I wonder. I'll teach you to sass me, girl, yelled Grandma. Suddenly, she lurched forward and grabbed Kaine by the ears, pulling her around the worm like a crazed grin on her face. Grandma, yelled Kaine with his quaking voice. Grandma, stop it! What the hell? The old woman stared and blinked, and then slowly held her wrinkled hands as if she was the first time ever seeing them. I don't know what happened now. I'm sorry, girl. Sometimes my mind just... I thought the look on her grandmother's face was the most heartbreaking she'd ever seen. Listen, she began. Maybe I should stay at home after all. No, I won't have you stay here to keep on an old codger like me. You go get the fruit and your wall and whatnot. I'll be fine. Holy shit, I completely forgot how long these reading sections were, and it's all in a row. I'll be fine when you come back, and I'll have a nice grasshopper dinner waiting for you. Kaine rolled her eyes, kissed her grandmother on the forehead, and made her ready to depart. Trying desperately to ignore the worry that the gnawing at the walls in her heart, Kaine could feel the old woman's eyes watching as she moved down the path. Don't turn around, she told herself, but in the end, the temptation was too great. She spun on a hill for one final look and saw a bent woman leaning in front of the ramshacked hut, a sad expression on her face. Gods, she looks so old now. It's like the wind could reach down and just carry her away. Kaine worried about her grandmother all day, causing her work to suffer. With what little fruit she was able to collect, tossed carelessly into the wheelbarrow, she found only a couple of stones before losing interest in the project. Finally, as dusk approached, she decided to call it a day. Cursing at her lack of focus, Kaine pushed a nearly empty wheelbarrow back up down the path. She crested the final hill. She froze in place. The wheelbarrow fell from her fingers and collapsed on its side, letting a few pieces of wrinkled brown fruit rolling down the hill. Her gaze was transfixed on a thick, black cloud hovering just ahead. Tracing its path with her finger, Kaine suddenly felt her stomach knot in itself. No. Oh gods, no. Oh god, this is weird. This is Automata music here. Her grandmother's house was ablaze, thick flames licking up as they were trying to touch the sky itself. Grandma! Grandma! Kaine ran faster and faster as she moved for her life. Once she had tripped over a stone and went sprawling onto the rocky ground, she leapt to her feet and continued running, unmindful of the blood that spilled from her wound into her hands and knees. She got closer and closer. Kaine's mind began to race in time with the foothills. It's too dark. It's too dark. It's not just fire. It can't be fire. It's too much smoke. Gotta save her. I've gotta save her. She burst in front of the front yard and came to a sudden halt. Her worst suspicions confirmed. Smoke from the fire was mingling with the black, inky blackness of an enormous shade. The massive creature supported itself on 3 twisted feet. We've heard this one before. Achieved balance through the means of a large, armored tail. Scaled horns and claws sprouted from its body in a random chaotic pattern, giving an appearance of a lizard designed by some insane god. Seeing Kaine, it let out a roar and flicked its tail, sending small whirlwinds spinning around the yard. For a moment, the creature retreated into the shimmering, inky blackness, as if her mind was unable to comprehend such a thing could actually exist. But then a smell hit her, a blend of rotten meat and excrement. Horror became real once more. The creature bellowed again, and this time Kaine responded in a scream of her own. Alright, you bastard, she thought and screamed and echoed at the high cliffs around him. It's you or me, let's go. The shade eyed Kaine with bemused interest, and then it began to look from her to the house and back again, as if urging her to look at the destruction it had gleefully wrought. With dread building in her heart, Kaine raced towards the house. Glanced towards the house. Through smoke and flame, she spotted a small figure trying to escape the ruins. Grandma! Sound of her own voice. The old woman began to wave frantically. She's alive, thought Kaine. Alive! Kaine's legs sprang to life, and she raced across the yard towards the flaming wreckage of the house. Before she could advance more than a few steps, the Shade opened its mouth and let out a roar powerful enough to uproot trees and send them flying. The blast sent Kaine tumbling through the air before smashing her against the rocky earth. Stars danced in front of her eyes. She tried to remember how her legs worked. Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up now! As Kaine struggled to her feet, the Shade stomped towards the house and pinned her grandmother to the ground with the tip of a claw. The old woman struggled to move a claw from her stomach, but she might as well have been pushing a mountain. She coughed briefly, sending a small spray of blood from the air, and then collapsed to the ground, and her energy nearly spent. Kaine lurched to her feet, only to fall back to the earth with a gasp. Ankles were on fire. One or both of them was surely broken. Ignoring the pain, she screamed through her body. She began to drag herself across the ground, leaving a drunken trail of dust and blood in her wake. Grandma, hold on, just a little longer. The grandmother's face turning blue, her eyes rolled back, only the whites were exposed. Kaine pulled herself across the ground with maddening slowness. The distance seemed to be increasing with every passing second. The Shade glanced between the two women and its long tongue. Sorry, I need a drink. Its giant mouth turning up at the corners. Short, panting breaths belched from somewhere deep inside its core. Bastard is laughing at us. She had no idea how such a mindless creature could experience emotion. There could be no doubt the Shade was taking joy in their suffering. Yeah, I see your plan. The Shade moved its claw slightly, allowing Grandma to breathe again. It was clearly keeping her alive, only to snuff her life out when Kaine was close enough to touch her. I'm gonna kill this bastard. Summoning all her strength, Kaine rose to her feet. There was a sickening snap in a right angle, and the foot twisted backwards. She forced it from her mind and began to hobble towards the monster. Pulling a small knife from her pouch at her waist, she leapt on the foot that pinned her grandmother and plunged the weapon deep. Give her back! She screamed. Give her back to me! It was like stabbing a rock. After a few swipes, the knife broke at the hilt. Dull snap. Shade panted. The Shade panted laughter again, then raised its tail and sent it rushing towards the air towards the young girl that was latched to its foot. Kaine never stood a chance. The tail struck her square in the chest and sent her crashing into the burning wreckage of the home. She lay on the ground with blood pouring from multiple wounds. A small, weak voice spoke up. Hey. Kaine's vision blurred. She forced herself to focus on the sound. Finally, her eyes cleared enough for her to make out her grandmother's hands reaching out to her through the smoke. Grandma. Kaine. Gotta run. Can't miss this one. Kaine grabbed the hands and held on with all his strength. Grandma, come on. We have to go. The old woman coughed loudly and one of her hands, slick with blood, slipped from Kaine's grasp and thudded to the ground below. Grandma, no. I said run, goddammit. You have to live. You have to get through. The thought would stay forever unfinished. Before she could say another word, Shade's clawed foot descended, smashing through the remains of the roof, and down upon the shattered figure of the old woman. Blood oozed from the gaps in the creature's toes. This terrible putrid smell assaulted Kaine's nose once again. She stared at the foot, dumbfounded, convinced that she was seeing could not possibly be real. And when the creature finally lifted up its appendage, all that remained underneath was twisted, unrecognizable mass of rubble of bread. Grandmother was gone. Kaine blinked, trying to feel the hands which had been hers for a moment. For a fleeting instant, she remembered the warmth of that embrace, the trembling of the fingers, then the sensation drifted away. The breeze was gone. Memories flashed through Kaine's mind, one after another, faster and faster. until they became a meaningless jangle of noise. Kaine screamed, a thunderous sound that echoed through the cliffs. It seemed to roll away forever. The shade eased forward, black ichor pouring from its mouth, dissolving into smoke on the ground below. The earth shook with every step as it crept towards its prey. Kaine's body slowly rose as if it controlled by a mad puppeteer. Her arms and legs were bent in impossible angles. Her head lolled dangerously to the side, yet somehow she managed to stand. Staring at the shade, her eyes began to glow with deep red fire. The creature, so confident just moments before, took a slow, hesitant step backwards, trying to discern if this broken human could possibly pose a threat. Kaine seized the moment. Laughing like a madwoman, she leapt through the air and plunged the shattered hilt of the knife into the leg of the shade. The shade shook Kaine off like a fly, sending her crashing to the floor once again. Her chest rose and fell slowly, as if a great weight was resting her. Moist sounds have echoed through her mind. Something warm and thick oozed from her ears. Is that blood? I think it is. I think I'm bleeding to death. No. Can't die here. Grandma told me to live. Deep inside Kaine's mind, something finally broke. The sound of pain, the smoke, the flames, all of it faded away, until all that remained was a single incantation repeated over and over again. Kill it! 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 Kill it now! As the spark that was Kaine slowly began to flicker and die, she felt her desire to kill and her desire to live all blended into one. The distance between her heartbeats grew longer, longer, and longer. Sorry, it kind of threw me. I wasn't expecting 2B to pop out. We have Weird 9S.
The beast approaches.
And Kaine. Whoa, this is a weird song. When does this play in Automata? It's Jack. Jack's back. But yes, that monster described is in fact the monster that we know very well as Hook from the earlier playthroughs.
I'm not gonna let this happen again.
And I really forgot that that all that dialogue happened at once, but
My sword feels lighter. It's not the blade, but the skill of the user. Strike it down.
alright. So there is going to be some differences, but it's not going to take much for me to blow up everything pretty quickly because we're very powerful. Come on, Jack. Now, I will skip some cutscenes and then others I won't. So, some of them will be important, related to shades, but Jack ain't got nothing to say. This boy going squish. Yes, I'm way over time now because I wasn't expecting that reading to go for so long. I actually thought it did each story one by one, but it did all three. But there's a lot more story to Kaine to go. But we do know why he had such drive to live, why she was forced out of her village, and what happened to her grandma, and why she has such a relation with Hook. Look at my little moo boy. You look like shit. Oh no, you're kidding me. Another reading section? Gosh, I didn't remember this. I really stuffed up here, chat. Really stuffed up here. I was not expecting this to go nowhere near as long. Alright, here we go. Gently, weakly, softly, Shade, sure that its tormentor was dead, turned and stomped and downward out the horizons, stopping along the way to bellow one final roar. Couldn't kill it. Shame beyond imagining, Kaine tried to turn her head from side, only to succeeding in coughing in a huge gout of blood. It was getting difficult to see. Only after the moment of a fierce concentration did she realize that her left eye was gone. Laughing to herself, she turned to her remaining eye to the ruins of her home, noticing a raggedy stump of an arm resting a few feet away. Yeah, that's mine, she thought, with a mad giggle. This is gonna make clapping a real bitch. Ha! Cried a sudden voice in steps of my mind. Finally gonna die, are ya? Well, you had it coming. Go to hell, Demo, she thought, an insane assailant. Go to hell before I pluck your eyes out and feed them to a dog. The voice of her childhood terror evaporated into smoke, only to be replaced by another more recent voice. Hold still, said the apothecary, materializing from the ruins like a ghost. I want to draw you. That way you can live forever. No, stop. I don't want to live forever. I want to die right here. I see, he said quietly. Well, if that's what you want. The spectral shopkeeper flooded in and out of existence for a moment, produced a piece of paper, sketched quickly. After a few seconds, he turned the page to Kaine and smiled. Since you rejected my offer, I decided to draw you someone else. It was the picture of her grandmother. Real as life, Kaine opened her mouth to thank the man, but stopped as the picture began to blacken in the middle. Before she could say anything, dozens of multi-legged insects began to swarm across the image, tearing it away with sharpened pincers. Stop. No. Don't hurt that picture. Kaine reached out with her remaining arm and waved it futilely in the air. To her surprise, the insects fell off the page and down to the ground below, where they vanished into tiny black tendrils of smoke. Relieved, Kaine turned her good eye back to the picture, only to open her mouth in a silent scream. The sketch now showed her grandmother as she truly was, a smashed, unrecognizable lump of nothing. The apothecary smiled and broke into a jolly dance. See that, he cried and danced his jig. It's perfect now. She looks just like you. Ha-cha-cha-cha-cha. I look like that? Oh, God. God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Drowning despair, Kaine laid her head back in the mud. The smoke ruined her house, and waited for the end to come. Just before she let everything go, an unfamiliar voice began to echo a whisper in her ear. Ain't you got a wish, sunshine? The voice was vulgar and fierce at the same time, as if something had somehow found its way to take form. Kaine wanted to scream as the voice crawled under her skin, but her lungs refused to work. You know, a wish. Like a prayer or something. Why don't you get on your knees and start praying to heaven? Please, invisible man in the sky, save me! Save me! Kaine finally resorted to shouting at the voice in her mind. Don't make wishes. They don't come true for me. I'm a curse. Freak. I should be left alone to die. The other voice boomed in her ears. Oh God, you're the best. Kaine glanced down and saw a black, shining substance oozing from her legs. She tried to brush it away. The remaining arm would no longer respond. The substance slowly crept around her feet and then began to move upward towards the rest of her body. Is this death? Is this what it's like? Or is my mind simply losing itself? She could feel the slime oozing upward, feeling the hot, searing pain left in its wake. Whatever else might be happening, still left alive. She was real. Come on, said the voice. Let it go. Kaine tried to ignore the voice and concentrate on the pain, but the newer one would have none of it. Don't ignore me, sunshine. You're ready to give up, ready to die. So why not let me have it? Have what? Your body. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me. I want to stand on the ground, feel the rain, taste the wind. The voice paused as if licking its lips. When it resumed, it was filled with mad, unabated joy. And I want to take your hands and use them to choke the goddamn life out of people. I want to tear out their throats and bathe in their blood just like before. In response, Kaine shifted her head and vomited. The warmth of it crept down her front and mingling in the pain of encroached black ooze. You were Shade? Maybe. What of it? Slime reached down at her face, crept up past her nose, and slowly oozed out of the socket of her missing eye. The moment it touched her brain, Kaine was struck by the most powerful sensation she'd ever felt in her life. It was ecstasy. She wanted to scream with delight, but all she could manage was a small whispering moan. Feel good, don't it? Croaked the voice with a chuckle. Yeah, what can I say? I know how to please the ladies. Now give me that body. Come on, give me the body and I'll give you more of this feeling. It's a fair trade. The black lumps began to protrude from Kaine's side. She watched, grew longer and thicker, and eventually taking form of her missing arm. I can see better, she thought. My eye must be growing back too. No, stop. This is supposed to be sexy robot game? No sexy robots here. Only twisted murderers. Slime reached up to envelop the rest of her face, but she managed to brush it away. Stop, she whispered, marveling how she had regained her voice. Stop. The black ooze hesitated, as if considering this request, and quickly shimmered down her body before disappearing in a cloud of smoke. Ah, what the hell, sunshine? Screamed the voice. We had a deal. I thought you wanted to die. Grandma said, I can't die yet. A brief image of her grandmother, bloodied and broken, flashed before her eyes. She saw the shade had killed her, and heard her mocking laughter, then closed her eyes and forced the image from her mind. Cool lore though? Yeah. Yokotaro is a good writer. Her body was quaking with rage. She opened her eyes again. They burned with bright red. That thing took my grandmother. I have to kill it before I die. Kaine glanced down and saw a mysterious pattern. A pattern of the shades. It burned herself into her left arm. Well, I'll be damned, said the voice cheerfully. Look at that, sunshine. I think you and me are going to be good friends now. Kaine stared intently at her arm. The more emotion she felt, the more the letters seemed to be ready to puncture her skin and begin inflicting the rest of her body. The arm clearly had a will of its own now. Stop! Gotta stop! Holding her left arm tight, Kaine took a deep breath and tried to calm herself. Come on, now don't fight it, pleaded the voice. Hate's my favorite dish, and I'm hungry. Let it go. Feel the anger. Burn the world with fire of revenge. Thirst for blood. Go out there and... Shut up. Shut up and get the hell out of my body. Your body? Oh, that's rich, sunshine. Real rich. Look, why don't you just up and die here so I can have this body all to myself? What do you say? I bet your buddy is yours in the area would love to see you dead. Kaine grabbed a nearby shard of glass and tried to saw off the shade, infecting a portion of her side. Before she could, her darkened left arm grabbed the right wrist, crushing it. Kaine screamed and dropped the shard on the sound of bone crunching the bone. Oh my gosh. Dropped the shard as the sound of bone crunching on the bone filled the air. Stupid idiot girl. You're possessed now, sunshine. There ain't no going back. The voice laughed again, a loud, long wail that seemed to go on without end. Possessed? Whispered Kaine. Yeah, possessed. You and me. We got what you might call a timeshare arrangement. Remember how folks used to think you were a freak? Well, wait till they get a load of you now. Kaine looked up, tears in her eyes. The sky seems smaller now. Darker. Is this because of that shade? Is this how they see the world? So, listen, purred the voice. I know this whole possession thing seems a bit sudden, but it ain't that bad. There's plenty of it in for you, too. I'm a very powerful creature, sunshine. And now that power belongs to you. You got enemies? You got people you want to kill? I can make it happen. That fat little kid who kept picking on you? The big old shade that squashed your granny? We'll wrap them up in their own assholes. No more abuse for you, sunshine. No more pain. Wait, said Kaine. You're a shade. Why would you help me kill another shade? What do you think, I'm some kind of racist? Some killing snob? I don't give a goddamn who you murder. On it, honey pants. I just want to drink from the well. Kaine considered this as she struggled to her feet, the power of the shade coursing through her. The smoke of her house was drifting away with the wind. She enjoyed the way the cool evening breeze felt on her new arm. After a long pause, the voice spoke up again. So, how about it? You and me. We could have some good times together. Look, I'll even take care of this bloody part you don't want. Fuck off, arsehole, muttered Kaine. I'll handle it, the killing. Screamed the voice. Look at you go. Oh, sunshine, we're gonna have so much fun. Listen, my name's Tyran. If you ever need me, I'll just be hanging out in this piece of meat you call a heart. Now get to it. The more you kill, the more your heart turns rotten and sour. And I like rotten and sour. Kaine found herself nodding at the voice. Yeah, said. Yeah, I think this can work. I'm gonna find that shade and I'm gonna strangle it with its own guts. And when you're done, I'm gonna do the same to you, Tyran. Count on it. I ship bigger than you, so good luck with that. Oh, and hey, one more thing. Right now, you and me are sharing this body. But if you ever run out of hate, if you ever, you know, go soft, then I'm gonna take over everything. So keep killing, Sunshine. And, watch your back. The voice grew fainter and gradually faded away, fading to somewhere deep inside Kaine herself. She waited until she was sure the voice was gone. She waved her new left arm a few times. Feels perfectly normal, she thought. Feels mine. Desperately, she began poking and prodding the new limb, determined to find something wrong with it. She didn't want to feel normal. That would mean the creature inside her had already won. I'm not a shade. I'm Kaine. Repeating this mantra in her mind, she began slowly digging through her rubble of her house. Began carefully looking for a certain red-stained spot in the corner. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of heartbreaking work, she found what she was looking for. It was the wreath of lunar tears. Though it had been through hell and back, the garland's petals were as bright as ever. Kaine started to place it in her hair and slowly lowered the wreath and stared at it. Sorry, Grandma. So sorry. I don't deserve to wear this anymore. I'm possessed, corrupt, freak. This time, I don't think there's any going back. Holding the flowers to her heart, Kaine fell to the ground and sobbed. The night gradually lightened. To the dawn, to the people of the area rose to their daily lives. She remained in that position, as if the tears could somehow wash away the horror that was now infected her world.
Alive! Stay alive! Stay alive!
Grandma.
Kaine, you gotta live! You gotta come back to us!
Oh, hey.
Now, we've seen this cutscene before. Maybe not all, Also, how long have I been frozen? Now, not with automata outfits, but this cutscene hits a little bit different now. Kaine being told to live
Of course.
by our little moon man.
I knew you right away.
Thank you, Kaine.
Welcome back, Kaine.
Wow. You grew up. So, how long has it been?
5 years.
For 5 years since Kaine was turned to stone by a mill. NieR looks funny. Kaine looks pretty good, like 2B though. Oh, she got like black tights. Oh no, it's not black tights, it's actually the boots.
Any luck with Yona?
We are still no closer to...
So everything is reset. The world is backwards.
No, it's good.
But we understand why Kaine is the way she is.
From her long petrified sleep. Emil's unflagging kindness. Our reunion was a happy one, and we let it wash over us like rain.
Like rain.
That is, until Devola and Popola had to go and ruin it all.
Now we know why Popola and Devola did ruin it all. They sent us on the path to the Shadow Lord.
Serious?
Please try to. People are tired.
This is crap, and you know
So I'm gonna skip through dialogue because we've heard this stuff before. Most of this will be the same. I will keep an eye out for new dialogue, but most of this should be what we've seen before. So Popola and Devola basically say that the village would like both Kaine and Mill to wait outside for the city, not to be inside the city, because they cause disaster.
I didn't get much sleep that night.
Nines. Man, I'm not. This is gonna be hard. I'm gonna be calling him nines now from here on.
First time in my life, I hated Devilman.
NieR very upset.
For the first time in my life, I doubted.
They will have sent us on the road to fight the Shadow Lord very shortly.
Those feelings are pointless.
Which we just saw how that ends. So
they said and did what they did for the sake of the village.
For the sake of humanity.
To protect it from the horror of the Shades.
Oh, this is so weird hearing Automata music here, guys. This is gonna take me a little bit to get used to. I'm not sure if I'll ever get used to it.
Really, how can I blame Devil and Popola?
I'm gonna head off. Thanks, Tom, for the stream. No problem, Tante. Thanks for hanging out, man. I'm way over. I'm almost an hour over, like, going, for how long we're going. I'm just needing to get to the save point. I'm so friggin', like, the save point is right next to my house. All I need to do. If this gives me another story read, I'm going to be very upset with Yoko Taro, because I forgot that this all gets front-loaded at the start of ending B. I really shouldn't have started ending B. No, there's a cutscene. This is a very particular cutscene too, so... Wait, no, is it? No, it's not. I don't think it is.
I should have polished, but we're good with it. Wait.
Oh, it is a particular cutscene. Here we go. The music has slight Doc Hat vibes. I don't know why I think that.
Yeah, me too.
Remember I said Emil and Kaine have a very particular relationship.
I tried everything I could think of to save you, you know. I polished you with a special cloth. I poured warm water over you.
Wait, you poured water on me?
Yeah, but it didn't really do much except make you all shiny.
Hey, Emil. Thanks for saving me.
I guess you noticed how I look different now.
I'm sorry, Emil. I'm sorry for all of it.
Well, I mean, this new form isn't all bad, you know? At least I can look at you when we talk, right? Hey, so why don't you tell me something about yourself?
I'm not very interesting. Sorry.
Come on. I just want to know you better. Please?
Fine. This all happened when I was a kid. Before the whole shade possession thing. My body is... different. And when the villagers found out about it, they started treating me like a freak.
Anyway, you enjoy the rest of your night, Tante.
But one person, my grandmother, accepted me just as I was. No matter how bad things got, she gave me the strength to keep going.
She's really special to you, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, hey! That gives me an idea. Since we cured your petrification, we should start looking for a way to cure your possession in my body. I know we can do it if we all work together. Heck, it'll probably be super easy.
Let me guess. More warm water.
Okay. Can we just forget I told you about that?
Yeah. Turns out, NieR and Emil actually did know truths about Kaine throughout that playthrough, but we weren't made known as a player. And pretty big deal.
Sure.
And yet don't be...
So, NieR did not sleep, but we are free. We now can go out on adventures. And I would talk to that shelf, but we're not going to, because that is for a next time thing, because we've got a lot to do. We've just gotten started. It's time for ending B. Now, I'm shocked just how long that did take there. I completely forgot that that was all front-loaded. But I'll finish up here, and we really need to finish. I am very, very, very behind. So, let's finish on up, chat. Oh my god. I'm very hungry now. It is very dark. The moon is out. I finished 2 nights in a row with the moon out. I have got to stop doing this. This is madness. Now, I need to raid someone.